Holy Spirit, I will obey. I'll live for Jesus day after day. Sweet Jesus, sweet Jesus, what a wonder you are. You are brighter than the morning star. You are fairer, much fairer than the lily that grows by the wayside. Precious, more precious than
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back after 1 week break. Last week we went to our church member Rebecca's place. We had worship with her. We had Bible study as well. And then we had potluck. What a wonderful time. Glad to be back. Before we begin our study, shall we bow our heads for prayer? Oh, dear God, our Heavenly Father, thank you for a good night rest. Thank you for a beautiful morning that we can study your word. May you enlighten our hearts and minds regarding work. Broaden our understanding on the biblical definition of work, so that our work on this earth, while waiting for Jesus to come, will be a joy, will be a delight. So bless us today. Help us to participate and make this study interactive one. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Let me share the screen today as we study. Now, if you cannot look at it, if you cannot see, let me know. Okay. The Christian and the work. So I changed the title to How Does the Christian View Work? The work to most people is actually to earn a living, right? Today we will broaden this understanding of work. Okay, Paul, since you're the first one to come in, would you like to read the memory text? Paul, are you there? Wait, maybe I can, wait, hold on. Okay, try again. Yeah. Paul?
Okay, I can't see the screen.
Okay, wait. Yeah.
Okay. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the works of the Lord, knowing that your labor is not in vain in the Lord.
Yeah. So today's memory text is work of the Lord. Okay. So what should we be doing while working for the Lord? Steadfast and immovable. Always abounding in your work. That means you find fruitfulness in your work, whether it is full-time work in the gospel ministry, or whether it is your secular work. May your work not be in vain. That's the whole purpose of it. Not everybody can work full-time to spread the gospel. That is also work. Okay, Sister Helen, could you read Genesis chapter 3, verse 19?
By the sweat of your face, you will eat bread till you return to the ground, because from it you were taken, for you are dust, and to dust you shall return.
Now, thank you. This text tells us that after the fall of Adam and Eve, they do not enjoy work anymore. And work is actually a drudgery and it's difficult and it's tough, right? By the sweat of your face, you will eat the bread till you return to the ground. That means what? Till you die. You work until you die. Because from it you were taken, you were dust, and you shall return. So it is actually work became a curse. But originally work was not a curse. It was a joy. Okay, Catherine, can you read this? Next one. Hey, wait. Hold on. Yeah, read this one, please. Catherine. Are you there, Catherine? Yeah.
Yes, yes. The Lord took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and keep it. Genesis 2:15.
Originally, when Adam and Eve were created, the first thing God let them be gainfully employed. Okay. So you must understand even the fall of man, we have to work. Even before the fall of man, God designated work for us. Okay, what kind of work? Work may seem to be a curse as a result of sin. However, we have just read in Genesis 2 verse 15, work is not a curse. It's already there before sin came into the earth. Okay, so when we work, we should work for the Lord's glory and honor. We should exercise and reinforce the skills that He has given us. And we should all do our work with a willing spirit and passionate heart. So today we will find what is work? Is it just to earn money? How to do it? And how we as Christians work, seeking excellence, and how to combine work and faith, and how to be a responsible worker with integrity, with wisdom, and with intelligence. All right, Victor, could you read this for us in Adventist Home, page 27?
Okay. To Adam was given the work of caring for the garden. The Creator knew that Adam could not be happy without employment. The beauty of the garden delighted him, but this was not enough. He must have a labor to call him to exercise the wonderful organs of the body. Had happiness consisted in doing nothing, man and his state of holy innocence would have been left unemployed. But he who created man knew what would be for his happiness, and no sooner had he created him that he gave him his appointed work.
Yeah. So to take care of the garden, to take care of an environment is actually work. So you can see, originally Adam and Eve, the work is actually to benefit himself, to exercise, to strengthen his organs of the body, to be in touch with nature, and to provide food, So in today's context, you can see today a lot of people are working for different reasons, for secular reasons, to earn money, to save, to provide for your family. It is actually very narrow, but God's definition of work is actually very wide, to care for the garden. I'm so happy that we have Sister Helen and your team. You have been consistently working on the garden of our church. Okay, and that's why your organs, your body is being exercised. You're in touch with nature. You breathe in all the negative ions, So work is actually gardening is actually the best form of exercise, best form of work. So I must salute you for it. You have anything to say, Sister Helen, regarding this? You are doing what Adam and Eve are doing.
Actually, it's really good because we get satisfaction out of seeing how our plants and so on grow. But the greatest, I think, satisfaction was to pull the weeds, because if you don't take care of the garden, the weeds will take care of the whole garden by themselves.
Yeah, gardening also involve removing pests and snails, isn't it?
Yes, yes. I wish I had more people coming to help.
Yeah. So anyone volunteer? Every Sunday, right? What time to what time?
We actually were given 2 days, Wednesdays and Sunday, during the lockdown, because there was this only five can come, you see. So
Ah,
what happened is May and her husband decided to come on Wednesday, so that we could have 2 days instead of one day per week, and also watering and so on. And then at the end of each month, we all meet together to discuss what we would like to do for the next month.
so usually what time on Wednesday and
After 9 to 12.
oh, okay, all right, interesting, huh?
Yeah,
Okay,
and if there are volunteers who can come, say, once a month or twice a month, they are greatly welcome. You don't have to come every week. Just let us know which days you can come, so we can set aside what you are supposed to do. It's easy. I always used to tell people gardening is no rocket science.
correct.
It's just to keep it clean.
In fact, the government has been encouraging we all to grow our own vegetables.
In fact,
Even
actually we are very keen, but vegetables need to be taken care of practically every day.
yeah,
So our 2 days a week does not allow us to do that, because the vegetables would die.
yeah, I am actually encouraging our members, Bible study members, besides helping gardening in our church on Wednesdays and Sundays, we can also grow our own garden, okay, on our home. Okay, the government is encouraging hydroponics growing on the roof of the HDB flats during this COVID-19. Now, I want to tell you also, this pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, God definitely have a hand in it. It is like a pressing of a button, a reset button for us to look at work. Because a lot of people have lost their jobs. Those jobs that are flourishing suddenly disappeared overnight. Or not overnight, over a few months, they suddenly, like hotel industry, tourism, aviation, all this gone. Then there are new jobs available. You see? So it's a reset for us to look at ourselves. Why are we working for money? Is it time to consider, we as Christians, how we look at work differently? Should we have active work to provide active income? Should we have passive work to have passive income? So suddenly all of us begin to look at our livelihood. A lot of people are on survival mode. So an idle mind is a devil's workshop, or idle man's brain is a devil's workshop. So it is good for us to consider occupying ourselves. Some people are very privileged, they don't have to work because they have enough retirement funds, and therefore they stop working, and this is not a good idea. And some people misinterpreted Warren Buffett's famous quotation where he says, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. So therefore, a lot of people are jumping into the bandwagon of passive income generation through property rental, through network marketing, and through investment of forex and so on. Actually, he is not talking about that. He's talking about multiple streams of income. Okay, he's also talking about the essential for us to work. Work is actually to exercise our brain, our muscles. Work is to make us do what we like. not just focus on putting food on the table. So what is work? Claire, could you read the quotation above?
Yes. What is work? And also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of all his labor. It is the gift of God. Ecclesiastes 3:13.
So work is what? A gift of God. That means not everybody do the same work, right? Everybody have different talents, different passion, and different interests. So when you work, you really enjoy. Okay, we are supposed to enjoy all his labor. How do you enjoy? That means you do what God has given you. If you like to meet people and you like to add value to people's health, then being an accountant is not suitable for you. And if you like children, then teaching in a primary school or kindergarten or a childcare center really add value to your life. The more you work, the more energy you have. Not the work that you do that will sap your energy. Unfortunately, a lot of people are in the wrong career. They do something that they don't like just because it pays well, just because they are living to the expectation of their family or the society. Okay? So we usually answer to the question, what do you do? By explaining our job. I'm a farmer, I'm a baker, I'm a housekeeper, I'm a lawyer. So for some people, their work is just a job to make a living. Now for others, their work is actually their calling, a chance to use their skill in a beneficial way. Like for Sister Helen just now, she shared with us, her work is actually to do gardening. She's a volunteer landscape coordinator. Okay, it doesn't give her money, but it really add value to her health, add value to the church. Okay, so another broadened definition of work is you can work as a volunteer, you can work as a calling, you can do something that you enjoy. So an important task in education is what? Is to help students to find out which is the most suitable profession for them according to their skills. For Christians, work is more than just a job. It is a way to receive God's blessing and an opportunity to be a blessing to this world and to testify of His love. So this is an opportunity. Look, besides putting food on the table, you also do volunteer work. You also do what you like according to your skill set. You also take this opportunity to share the gospel. Because many times work also involves working for people, working as a team, or work involves people. So when you interact with people, you come early, you are honest, you have integrity, you are actually telling people, hey, I'm different from other people because I have Jesus in me. I'm helpful, I teach people, I mentor others, I'm not selfish. So all these are a broadened aspect of work, witnessing while working. Pearl, can you help us to read this? Ecclesiastes chapter 2, 18 to 20.
Good morning, everyone.
Good
Then I
morning.
hated all my labor in which I had toiled under the sun, because I must leave it to the man who will come after me. And who knows whether he will be wise or a fool? Yet he will rule over all my labor in which I toil, and in which I have shown myself wise under the sun. This also is vanity. Therefore, I turn my heart and despair of all the labor in which I had toiled under the sun.
This is the secular aspect of work that Solomon talks about. Okay, I hated all my labor. Why? because he said, after that, I must leave it to the man who come after me. So you pass your work to other people. Now, Singapore have this concern that a lot of those traditional hawkers, their children are not interested in taking over their business. So we are losing that traditional food that this older generation have been toying under. Okay, so a lot of people don't enjoy. So there is this trend right now to encourage the young to look at traditional cuisine, to work in the hawker center. Okay, Rosemira, can you read the rest for us?
Yes. For there is a man whose labor is with wisdom, knowledge, and skill, yet he must leave his heritage to a man who has not labored for it. This also is vanity and a great evil. For what has man for all his labor and for the striving of his heart, with which he toiled under the sun? For all his days are sorrowful, and his work burdensome. Even in the night his heart takes no rest. This also is vanity. Nothing is better for a man than that he should eat and drink, and that his soul should enjoy good in his labor. This also I saw was from the hand of God.
Yeah, then there's another aspect he talked about, the skillful laborer. After he died, he will pass it to somebody who has not labored for it. Like, for example, the second generation people who inherit the wealth of their father. Okay, he has not labored for it. So he will take things for granted. He reaped the fruits of his ancestors' labor. Okay. So to Solomon, this is vanity. Of course, work is vanity, whether it is hard work, whether it's building a strong work empire. It is vanity without God. So how can Solomon consider work both a blessing and a curse in the same section of the Bible? What are hints in the text about what can make the difference in how we approach work? Anyone like to discuss? Can the same work be a curse as well as a blessing? And what makes the difference? How can you turn your present job into a blessing? By the way, when we talk about work, it's not necessarily work that put food on the table. And just now, Rosemira was reading. I can hear that in her house, there are many pets, there are many birds. Do you know that taking care of pets and birds, they are also work? Okay, when you have pets, you really like having another child. You have to take care of their health and so on. So how can understanding God, purpose of giving us work, become a blessing? Catherine, you want to say something?
Our attitude towards the work. Well, we do it all for the glory of God. I mean, so we can be happy in it while we are doing the job.
Yeah, and also not only that, besides what you have said, besides giving God's glory, if you have a broadened understanding of work, in other words, the purpose of work, then you are more targeted in exercising your energy in work. Okay? If you exercise wisdom, you exercise talent, you exercise God's purpose and the spiritual aspect, then you go to work with energy.
Yes.
Let's say, for example, I don't know whether you have pets at home. If you have pets that you love, taking care of the cat or the dog is really a joy because it gives you energy. But if you don't like dogs, okay, and then you have to clean the dog poo, you have to bathe the dog, would it be a stress or will it be a joy? Okay, so you decide how you consider work. Okay.
Sorry, I think everybody is given certain gifts or certain abilities or so given by God and so on. I think if you use the right ability or the gift and apply it to your work, then I think you will enjoy the work better. If you're doing something that you really hate, or and you don't have the proper attitude for it, then you will end up hating the job and so on. So I think if you are able to use the gift that given to you, you may really enjoy your work eventually.
Yeah, I think you're right. When I retire after serving for 28 years as a pastor, a lot of people look at me and ask me, hey, how come you retire? I thought pastors never retire. I always tell people, can you imagine doing the same thing over and over again for 28 years? That's one. Second, I've been in the same church on 3 different occasions for more than 25 years of my life. Almost 25 years of my life. And not 25, I think more than about 20 years of my life. Members will grow tired of me, I'll get tired of them also. So if I just stay on because of other people's expectation, it's going to kill my professional life and my spiritual life. So just because this job as a pastor is very stable and it gives me regular income, I can just do the minimum, right? But it's not going to sit well in my conscience. So like what Paul says, correct? You must find something that you enjoy and you can exercise your talents. So you just work for the sake of the money. You're waiting for one paycheck after the paycheck. That is not the right attitude.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Sorry, you're talking about work that sometimes you think is a chore. We never give credit to housework, That one you do until you die,
Yeah. Okay, housework include if you have children that are still young. There's a saying it is actually 24/7 when you take care of children, and that is work. The husband thinks that he work 8 to 5, come back home and provide for the family. It's the wife that work non-stop. But yet the wife doesn't have CPF. You see, so we should when we broaden our understanding of work, we should appreciate our wife, appreciate the homemaker in our lives. Thank you for the contribution. So how to do our work? The scripture says, whatever your hand finds to do, do with all your might. Don't do it halfway. Okay. So the Christian understanding of work is you must do your best. Put all your best work in it. Don't be major in mediocrity. You know what is majoring in mediocrity? That means just do the minimum, just pass will do. In fact, in the secular world, some people despise people who are too on the ball. They say, please don't sabotage us. Do the minimum. Don't overwork. There are some people who do that. So in the Bible, work is connected with our hands. Actually, hands are used even in the most intellectual work. So if you replace hands with work, when reading this following text, it means what? So Deuteronomy talks about God bless our hands, but it's actually God bless our works. In Nehemiah, it talks about God gives us strength and health to carry out our work. And Proverbs 10 verse 4 says, diligent workers prosper. 21 verse 25 says, lazy people are annoyed by work. Ecclesiastes 9 verse 10 says, we should work according to our strength. Jeremiah says, we should avoid work that might incite us to sin. Hey, interesting. Eh? What are the work that incite us to sin? Anyone can think about? Are there work that we should not engage in? That we will be tempted to sin against God?
Like, for example, don't work in casinos.
Okay. You are tempted to treat money easily, right? And then you may be tempted to gamble. Okay, that's a good point. And
working for a tobacco company or working for a liquor company.
yeah,
You know,
you are actually contributing to the vices of society. Okay, there are work that is sinful work. Okay, like prostitution, like being a pimp. You know, uh, this work Christians shouldn't do. And another type of work is endangering our health. Okay, if you know that you are in poor health, and then you are actually working in a coal mine where you breathe all the fumes, and that is not good. Work that gives us a chance to help those in need, that should be the work to be encouraged. And last, work is a moral obligation. In other words, a multi-millionaire no need to work. Those who inherited great wealth no need to work, but they are not working to put food on the table. They are working to build up the society. And there is a moral obligation to teach other people on how to improve their lives. They have a moral obligation to mentor others. No need multi-millionaire. Actually, some of us, they have enough residual income. They can spend time associating with people, doing volunteer work, and just being with people is a form of mentoring. It's a form of blessing. It's a form of evangelism and witnessing. So whether it is work that put food on the table or volunteer work, it is an obligation for us to work. We cannot sit at home and watch TV or YouTube videos all the time. It is actually not good. Okay. Okay, Corina, are you there to read this for us?
Yeah. You yourselves know that these hands of mine have supplied my own needs and the needs of my companions. In everything I did, I show you that by this kind of hard work, we must help the weak. Remembering the words the Lord Jesus himself said, it is more blessed to give than to receive.
Okay, Corina, I ask you, what was Paul working as?
Is it tent maker?
Correct. Do you know that being a tent maker is hard work?
Yeah.
And sometimes his hands will get blisters, okay, because it involves a lot of sewing, okay, and I don't know what you call that, putting all the pieces together, and then it is a large piece of canvas, to make tents, and it's not easy. And look at what he said now. You yourself know that these hands of mine have supplied my needs. Apparently, people who met him, he doesn't have very smooth hands. In fact, he has very rough hands. By the way, and when he was talking about that, it was in chapter 20. Although he was ordained as an apostle, by right, he should receive offerings from God, or rather offerings from the brethren. In fact, he always said a full-time worker need to lead, those who work for the gospel need to live by the gospel. But he himself went a second mile to distinguish himself from other false teachers, because there are false teachers who claim to be apostles and then receive a lot of offerings to sustain their livelihood. They don't work and they become lazy. But Paul was not like that. Apostle Paul, although he endorsed full-time workers should get salary, but he himself as a full-time worker showed an example that it is more blessed to give than to receive. You see, he did not rely on his authority or his calling to get salary, okay, or stipend. But he himself worked to supply his own needs and the needs of his companions. And then if he have extra, he will give it to the work. Where do you find a worker like that? Paul, remember, he was a Pharisee, very learned. He seldom used his hands when he was in the member of the Sanhedrin. He was a teacher. Okay. But when he was converted, he suddenly realized the moral obligation of work. And he realized that his concept of work totally changed. He is actually very rich. Why? Because whatever he received from the brethren, he gave it to other churches. He gave it to the new fields. And then he worked for his own needs. What are his own needs? He paid for his own food, his own lodging, his own clothing. Okay, through many years of missionary work, his clothes wear off, his sandals wear off. You know, he needs to bathe, he needs to eat. So he worked for his own needs and then he supplied the needs of his companions. So I would say he is the best example of what work a person should do. Now, I want to share my testimony. I, just like many people, I had the wrong concept of work. When I was a seminary student, that time, those who study to be a pastor, right? We did not have 100% scholarship. We only got half, 50%. So the rest of the 50%, we are supposed to work. Okay, today different. Most of the seminary student, I think like Chuan Rong, Pastor Chuan Rong, he was 100% sponsored. For us, we are only sponsored half. The rest of the half, we are supposed to give tuition or work. At that time, because of this wrong understanding, I always think that, have to study and work at the same time. How can I concentrate? But actually, today I fully understand work is very good. During the olden days, we call it colporteuring in America, where people will go door to door and sell books. And these books are actually health books or Christian books. This picture is another colporteur. This is actually from China before the communists came into power. A lot of Christians, they go about selling Bibles. Okay, today we give them a new name. We call them the literature evangelists. So when I was studying as a pastor, I was given an opportunity to do this colporteur ministry. So we took a break from study for 3 months. Okay, we went around offices. Singapore, we cannot go to homes because during office hour, only the maids and the grandparents are at home. So we go to offices. The time we were selling health books, health magazines. And the book that I was selling was Bible readings for the home. And that became my bestseller. Very interesting. That time I went to Ocean Building, AIA Building, where all the insurance agents were there. I managed to sell 6 books a day. So for 3 months, when I was doing colporteuring or literature evangelism, I managed to sell 150 books in 3 months. And that helped to pay for my tuition. Okay. And after that, I received scholarship because of the books that I sold. Okay. Our church value work as part of character building. Then you really appreciate money. There are many, many stories that I can tell you about when I meet people selling this book. Some people say, hey, how come are you selling this book? Then I say, I am a seminary student. I'm also working to pay for my livelihood and my tuition. Then there's one lady, a young lady, she said, wow, that's so admirable. I didn't bring money. Can you come tomorrow? So that time we don't have digital payment. So everything is done in cash. So indeed, I came the next day. She was so happy that she took out. I remember this Bible readings for the home was sold at $15. She gave me $15. I was so happy. She was so happy. Then we began to share a lot of experiences. So I find that it's easier to sell this book than to sell health books. Okay. Then the Bible, okay, we went on to study about God require Moses and all the Israelites to build a tabernacle. Okay, and all the skilled artisans among those doing the work made the tabernacle. God planned the construction of a tent to meet with Israel. He would not be happy with anything but excellent. God actually designed how the tabernacle was to be built. This is the tabernacle with the exact measurement and what are the specific instruction to build, the materials to use, the exact shape of every furniture. It cannot be anything less. So if you were to read the Bible in Exodus, there is this exact description of how it was to be built. For example, the Ark of the Covenant, okay, it was made with certain wood and overlaid with gold. And then this one is the 7-branch candlestick. Okay, and then the ladies will help to sew the tent, okay, that cover the sanctuary. So and this sanctuary is actually a mobile one. When they move, this sanctuary will be dismantled and moved together. So it is actually a very tedious task. This shows that God likes it when we do our work excellently, always according to our possibilities. He expects us to do our best work by making best of our talents, skills, time, and education. So it is through this work of colporteuring, then I realized that I will develop the skill of persuading people. Okay, I didn't know that I have a talent of persuasion. So when you preach the gospel, it's also about appealing people to make decision. So there's an elder told me, say, Pastor, when you appeal for offering, usually the offerings will go up. I didn't know that I have the ability to inspire people to make decisions. Okay, next one, we would like to ask Debbie, you are there? Could you read for us if you are there? Just read this part.
Proverbs 22:29. Do you see a man skilled in his work? He will serve before God, before kings. He will not serve before obscure men.
Okay, can you read this below also?
Do you see someone skilled in their work? They will serve before kings. They will not serve before officials of low rank.
This is actually very interesting. He say if you are skilled in your work, you will serve before kings. That means if you use your work, your talents to the best, you are skillful. So when I read the original language in Hebrew, and then I look at other translations or other versions of the Bible. By the way, I have a software that has 14 versions. So I found out that skill in his work can refer to many meanings. For example, truly competent, skillful, good at their work, skilled workers, excels in his work, efficient in his work, a hardworking man, diligent in his business, speedy in his business, expert in his business, swift in his work, diligent and skillful, and does a good job. So if you put all this together, as a Christian worker, we must be competent, skillful, we must be excellent, efficient, hardworking, fast. Okay. So when we are having this holistic aspect of work, we will serve before kings. Serve before kings is a metaphoric expression where we will be highly regarded. And when they find that we are different from other people, we are faster, we have higher productivity, we are more competent, then they will realize that, hey, this person, how come he is so different from other people? Oh, he's different because he believes in Jesus. Okay. Like most people, they only use less than 5% of their brain. Christians, we use our brain power to the fullest. We use our heart to the fullest. Okay, we have the love of Jesus. Okay, whereas other people, they just do the minimum. Okay, Paul, can you read this quotation for us?
The skillful touch of the physician's hand has power over nerve and muscle. His knowledge of the delicate organism of the body, the wisdom of divine power to be used in behalf of the suffering. The skill with which the carpenter uses the hammer, the strength with which the blacksmith makes the anvil ring comes from God. He has entrusted men with talents and he expects them to look to him for counsel. Whatever we do, in whatever department of the work we are placed, he desires to control our minds that we may do perfect work.
I think the key is to realize that the talents we have comes from God. And we are not serving men only. We are not exhibiting our talents by ourselves. But it's actually to glorify God because this is from God. So we are actually very exercising our good stewardship when we exercise our talents. But unfortunately, some people, they work only for money. And their sole purpose is to gain wealth. Then they lose the purpose of work. Okay? And when you have money as the major motivation, then you lose your integrity, your honesty, and you will despise low skill work. By the way, who knows what was Jesus' occupation before he began his ministry? What was Jesus doing when he was on earth before he went into God? Carpenter, you're right. Do you know that how long was Jesus working as a carpenter?
Until the age of 30, is it?
Yeah. So let's say, for example, he started work when he was 15 years old. So he worked as a carpenter for 15 years minimum lah. You know, we do not know when he started. So we know that Jesus actually is a skilled carpenter. And when he started his work, he was not a nobody. Everybody know that he's a carpenter. And whatever you do it heartily as to the Lord and not to men. So that's how faith and work come into being. We are all new creatures in Christ. This is reflected in all aspects of our lives, including our work. We should not separate or compartmentalize our work. Some people are like that. Huh? Faith cannot be left aside while working. You cannot have the one behavior while you work, one behavior when you are in the family, and another behavior when you go to church. It has to be the same. So whether we work, whether we live, whether we spend time with family, whether we take care of our pets, the fruit of the Spirit in us will help us to do our work diligently and to treat everyone with kindness and respect. So we must also exercise the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness. Okay. Then those around us will see something special in the way we do our daily work. When you are more punctual, more competent, more in productivity, more in honesty and integrity, this will be an opportunity to share your faith. So in other words, we cannot be less. Our work quality must be the best or better than our friends. We are not competing with other people. There's a saying, Christians should not be competitive or practice politicking in a corporate environment, but rather we must be somebody who always strive to be better than ourselves yesterday or last week. Okay. And our main motivation to strive towards perfection is to glorify God, not to step on other people to get promotion. Okay. Sister Helen, could you read the next one?
Unmute. Whether your gift is mighty or humble, whether you exercise it in the marketplace or at the podium, in the executive suite or in the schoolroom, in the office or at home, your main task or gift or ministry is to be a light in a dark world.
Thank you. I like this quotation. Okay. It doesn't matter whether you are a CEO or a plumber. Your duty is to be the light in the dark world. So how do you manifest your spirituality in the day-to-day tasks of your life? This one is asking specifically, how? Okay. What kind of impression do you think that you make? Because in the end, you do make an impression. Anyone like to discuss this? How do you manifest? Your day-to-day task is not just 9 to 5 job. It's not that. It's also your volunteer work. It's also your exercise routine while meeting people. It's also your time with your family. It's also taking care of your pets.
I think the impression that we as Christians give normally it has to be different from what other people are doing and so on, because it's only when you are different from other people then you kind of stand out and so on. Because if you behave the same way as everybody else, then there's no difference and people will not notice anything about you and so on. And because whenever I meet with my non-Christian friends, they usually will ask me, why are you different from other people, and what I think, okay, I have this group of ex-classmates, all about the same age, and we go for our monthly walk once a month, and sometimes, for us in the 70s and so on, there's always a common ailment. Everybody got some kind of problem and so on. And they ask me, and I tell them, as far as I know, I got no medical problem and not on any medication and so on. And they were quite surprised because everybody in the group all has some kind of ailment and so on. And I tell them, well, I'm a Christian, I believe it, and there's certain things I don't do. So I think it's our differences from other people that makes us stand out and so on. And I think this is the kind of impression that we as Christians should be sharing with the world and so on.
Okay, thank you. I think it's very important that when you share that you are a Christian, after some time you can even go deeper to say that actually God wants us to be a temple for the Holy Spirit, so that when our whole temple is clean, the Holy Spirit can come into our lives. Sometimes your sharing has to be progressive according to their understanding and according to your relationship with them. Like just last week, I just met a couple who came to our house. They are also Christians. So they began to ask about my health practices. So I told them that our church regard the health message as part of our teaching, because our body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. Straight away he said, yes, that should be the way. But most Christians don't practice it. Okay, they just leave it for you to decide. For me, when I went to China to do my business, some of my friends invited me for karaoke, and most of them will stay until midnight, stay until 2 a.m., 3 a.m. For me, I told them I have to sleep before 12. So at 11 o'clock, I say goodbye to them. And then when they serve alcohol, I will not touch. So when they ask why, I say we must develop a discipline for our lives. Okay? Early to bed, early to rise. So in China, I make it a point not to stay up with them after midnight. And those people that I bring along from Singapore, when they stay in my apartment, I also make it very clear. My house is very Spartan. Okay, no tidbits, no alcohol, no things that are harmful to the body. Then for breakfast, I will prepare breakfast for them. And then they really look forward to my healthy breakfast. So how do you manifest your spirituality in a day-to-day task? To me, this is work. Work to add value to people, work to mentor people, work to be an example and a model to others, so that they will see Christ in me and glorify God. Okay, nothing to do with me. It's everything about God. Catherine, can you read this? Catherine, are you there?
I cannot see wait. Okay. Religion and business are not two separate things. They are one. Bible religion is to be interwoven with all we do or say. Divine and human agency are to combine in temporal as well as in spiritual achievements. They are to be united in all human pursuits, in mechanical and agricultural labors, in mercantile and scientific enterprises. There must be cooperation in everything embraced in Christian activity.
Okay. So in other words, in every aspect of our lives, we cannot compartmentalize our life. In other words, we cannot say that, oh, now is actually work. We can behave like the world. Okay? We cannot separate our lives. Religion and business are inseparable. Just like this picture that I showed earlier as the first slide. Jesus must always be with us in whatever we do. Okay? Whether it is work, whether it is in your office, whether you're driving, taking care of your pets, music, okay, cooking, doing housework, we exhibit our values, Christian values. Okay, Corina, could you read this for us?
Nothing is better for a man than that he should eat and drink, and that his soul should enjoy good in his labor. This also, I say, was from the hand of God.
Yes, thank you. Christians are called to be good stewards in every aspect. Temperance is the key. So no matter our current situation, work should always have the right priority in our lives. We cannot overwork also. Some people, they do not have a healthy balance between work, family, and spiritual life. Some people are married to their work. They are called workaholics. So there must be a healthy balance between work, family, spiritual life, and leisure. It is important to remember that God must be present in all aspects, and therefore work cannot be an idol. It cannot be separated from our spiritual life either. So our relationship with God must not be interrupted by our work, our relatives, or leisure. Okay? God is the center of our lives, and God wants us to work so that we can glorify Him. You know, how else can we exhibit light unless we spend our waking hours working with others to show that God is in us? Okay, this one I need someone else to read again. Victor, can you read for us?
Sorry, I read on behalf of him.
Bettina, you're welcome.
Yeah, because they're on the way to church here. The Christian's work grows out of fellowship and work with God. Work is one way by which we can practice the presence of God. To compartmentalize our religious life, to limit God to one day, 1 hour, or even just one area of living is to reject the very presence of God in these other areas.
Okay. You cannot limit God to 1 hour. Okay, you're going to church, right? You behave this way. Okay, go to work, you behave another way. You cannot do that. Claire, could you read this for us?
Yes. The life of toil and care, which was henceforth to be man's lot, was appointed in love. It is a discipline rendered needful by his sin, to place a check upon the indulgence of appetite and passion, to develop habits and self-control. It was a part of God's great plan for man's recovery from the ruin and degradation of sin.
Yeah, this is a very powerful paragraph that says work after the fall of man is to develop self-control, recovery from ruin and degradation of sin. So work is very important. Okay, doesn't mean work money should be the driven force behind work. It's not that. Okay, work is not just to occupy time. Work is actually for our character building and recovery from sin. So I hope today we have a holistic and biblical view of work. May our work find joy and pleasure. May our work find opportunity to be a witness for Jesus. May our work glorify God in everything that we do. Any other comments before we end? If there's none, let's bow our heads for prayer. Dear God, our Heavenly Father, today we are thankful that you have enlightened us on the aspects of work, the biblical aspects of work, and how we as Christians should view work. And right now, with this enlightened view, from now on, may we serve you with all our hearts. May we exercise our God-given talents to the fullest, so that in every aspect of our work, people can see Jesus in us. And may our work glorify your holy name. We ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen. God bless you, everyone. Have a wonderful week ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.